Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Supervisors August 3rd to order. Mr. Slay, if you don't, before you sit down, would you mind doing the invocation? Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, we invoke your name and your blessing on our time here today. We thank you, Lord, for your presence here with us. Thank you, Lord, for your power, the wisdom and the discernment that you promised to us, Lord, when we ask for it. We need that, Lord. We need to make good and wise decisions. I pray, Father, that you'll be with our community as some big decisions are being made soon. Father, I pray that you will give our citizens the desire to want to participate in their government. I thank you, Lord, for the freedoms that we enjoy that have been purchased with an incredibly high price. I pray, Father, that our citizens will recognize that sacrifice and will do their part in their participation in government. Father, I pray that you will protect our first responders and our military personnel and bring them home safely in Christ's name.
Amen. Amen. Okay, I don't believe we have any public comments or recognition, so we'll move on to approval for minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve old minutes to the July 6th, 15th, and 23rd, 2015 by Mr. Bishop. Second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Consent agenda. Any
Motion to approve.
Second.
motion approved, Mr. Bishop. Second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And Sheriff Bailey's not here.
I
We
see
can
that. We can,
well, I'll just make a motion to approve the
we've already been
contract
over,
with Prime Logic.
we've already been over this
Yes, we have.
and everything, so, it'd be appropriate to take action on it. Motion
Second.
approved by Mr. Bishop, second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. John
John,
Sullivan.
I would just go ahead and breeze through yours too, but I want you to participate.
Well, let's do it easy. I need y'all to approve items A, B, C, and D.
I'll make a motion to approve all those.
Second.
Motion to approve, Mr. Bishop, second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank y'all.
Hey, man, what, you gave us a sheet here.
That's item B, acknowledging the protest. Those are the
Okay.
people who will be protesting, except the one at the bottom. That's a Home Depot here in Brandon. That's a TIF, and you can't protest a TIF. So,
Well, this isn't that many then. Good
and then
job.
the only other one is Siemens, and they,
Well, they protest every year, don't they?
after they
Seriously?
lost their exemption, and then they got an exemption, but they still, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll be okay.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Parker, consulting engineer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. First item that I have on the agenda is for a permit, request approval for AT&T permit for a telecommunication line down at Cato Road and County Line Road. I recommend approval of that.
Motion approved.
Second. Motion approved, Mr. Wilcox, second, Mr. Keith. Any discussion? Not all in
Yes.
favor, say aye.
Hang on
He
one
said
second.
discussion.
As, because there's,
You move fast.
yeah, I know, but there's certain places that some of these have been doing, like we've talked about before, make sure that they do the cleanup and everything behind themselves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
'Cause I've got some
Okay.
people that are aggravated on, especially on highways and stuff like that, that
Mhm.
we really don't have anything we can do on that.
Right.
But if you can, make sure to go behind them, make sure they're
Yes, sir.
doing what they're supposed to do.
We will, no
Thank you.
problem.
Okay.
All in
Second-
favor, say aye.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You was trying to speed us
Thank
up.
you. Yeah, I thought y'all were maybe in a hurry. Second item I have on the agenda is our Flint Cove Farms Phase 1. I'm recommending approval of that preliminary plat. This is in District 1. I know Mr. Morrison is familiar with it down off Florence Byram Road.
That's what they're gonna call it?
Yeah, they finally named it.
Okay.
Flint Cove Farms. I would recommend, we've been over it, looked at it, no problem.
They've been here to meet with us also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've had a meeting on everything is in order, so, we'll be a public road. One time they were discussing a private road built to county standard. They decided to go ahead and make it a public road in there.
Right.
with a cul-de-sac. So I recommend approval of that preliminary plat.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by himself, second Mr. Keith. Any discussion? Y'all do remember the one, that is the one that he actually came in and presented to us as a whole board after he'd had the preliminary discussions with myself and Mr. Parker. And it was gonna be drives enter off of Florence Byram, and then they were having a road that go in there that would be a public road. So I just wanted to know it's not something that's
Yeah, and the
like
lots,
some of the others have kind of started and then we found out about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this isn't gonna be blacktop?
oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah, it will be in the
Okay.
lots, I don't recall the size, they're large.
Like 3 acre,
Yeah.
3 acre lots. I think the smallest one was 2.7 or something.
Yes.
Something like that. Okay. A motion myself, second, Mr. Bishop, Keith, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you. Next item I have is Greenfield Ridge Parts 1H and 1I. And this is in, of course, Mr. Wilcox area. It's kind of back in there. We've been looking over this. Actually, I've had the construction plans in my office for quite a while because we were waiting for some other approvals from the health department, but it's in order. So I would recommend approval of those construction plans.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Wilcox, second Mr. Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. Next item I have on the agenda is LSRP 61-3. I'm recommending approval of a board order for transferring funds of $74,907 from the road fund to the state aid fund and authority to issue that check. If y'all recall, this is something we talked about back in January. This is on the Old Highway 43 and the Old Highway 49 projects, and we're finalizing those now. And according to the state aid numbers, this is the final amount that we need.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop, second Mr. Wilcox. I have a question. Did want to talk to you about that. Is there anything can be done about some of the unevenness, dips?
No, so they've done pretty much all they can do under this type project. If you call what an LSRP project is, you don't go in and do a lot of reconstruction. You can do some minor leveling. It's basically an overlay job. This is, as y'all know, LSRP funds are generally for bridges, and because you have your bridges now in good shape, we were able to get these monies transferred over to these road projects. And I know what Mr. Morrison, but at this stage of the game, I don't think so.
Well, I noticed that one of the bridges where we had some settlement prior to, you're creating there's another dip coming in there.
Yes, sir, we had them go back into that particular area. I can't explain why that is there. Well, some of it could be the extreme changes that we've had with relationship to moisture. But the contractor did all that he could do because he met the requirements as far as the test reports. So I don't know.
I mean, with it a dip there now, is it not only going to get worse?
It may or may not.
Yeah.
That depends.
Okay.
I can't answer. There's a possibility that it would.
It's in the same area that you had the problem, and I know he went back and did,
Yeah.
I think twice.
Yes, sir, he did. And he met the requirements. That's what we were concerned about. But the only thing, if you recall, of course, drainage is not good on that entire roadway. We did some drainage, or you did, the county did some drainage improvements in some of the real critical areas. But I can't explain sometimes the moisture differential, which will cause that deformation in the final surface. But to answer your question, I think that's all we can do under this contract. And later, if we have trouble, then the county will just have to go back and try to level again.
Okay. I'm asking because need to give explanation.
I understand. Yeah.
So did you get a good one now? You got a good one now?
Yeah.
Yeah, got to go.
This is what I was told.
Yeah, he got the same one I get when people call
Yeah.
me, and they all right. Yeah,
All right.
no big deal.
Okay. Motion and second. No more discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. Next item I have on the agenda is on our Old Fannin Road reconstruction project. This morning, I'm recommending approval of supplemental agreement number 1, which I feel like will be the only supplemental agreement, and authority to sign the documents. Laura's the one that would have to sign the document, acting as the LPA. But this is what we've been waiting, one of the documents we've been waiting to get from MDOT for quite a while. It had to do with liquidated damages and some disagreements as far as MDOT was concerned. But those issues have now been resolved, and to my understanding, all parties involved are satisfied. So I would recommend approval of this so I can start it through the process.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop. Second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dale Westbrook, Road Manager.
I make a motion to approve work accomplishing schedule.
Second.
All right, motion approved, Mr. Bishop. Second, Mr. Keith. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
See, Dale, you didn't even have to stand up.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Items, if I may, get one motion on items A through E under Section 10, which will be setting a public hearing on August 17th, 2015, 9 a.m. for John Gaskin, Bert Dupree, that says Brett Dupree. Is that Bert? Bert Cowan Development, Twin Counties Rezoning, and Tony Parker Conditional Use.
Motion to set this public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wilcox, second, Mr. Bishop. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
In like manner, items F and G are to set public hearings for September 8, 2015 for Kendrick Gordon Conditional Use and Robert Lloyd Conditional Use.
Motion to approve.
Second.
To settle. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Motion
That's
approved,
the
Mr.
guy.
Bishop. Have a second?
Not second.
Second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Item H is a public hearing on the Mike Rozier Construction Company rezoning with dimensional variance request, 472 Pisgah Road, District 4. At this time, we'll open that public hearing. I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak in opposition to the Mike Rozier Construction Company rezoning with dimensional variance request. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? In opposition. Mr. President, I don't see anyone here to speak in opposition to that matter. We'll close that public hearing. It'd be appropriate to take action. District 4.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wilcox. Any discussion?
I'm guessing that Walter's,
Walter, have you talked to Walter on this, Renee?
I think good.
Okay, good.
all right.
Must be, I got a message and there's no problem about anything.
Okay.
So, okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The next item on the agenda is the public hearing on the Ronnie Garrison rezoning request, 1239 Old Fannin District 2 property. At this time, we'll open that public hearing. I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak in opposition to the Ronnie Garrison rezoning request. Anyone to speak in opposition? Mr. President, I don't see anyone here to speak in opposition to that matter. At this time, it'd be appropriate to close that public hearing and then to take action.
I just want Mr. Garrison to give me some background on what he's doing.
Absolutely. Garrison,
Come forward.
please.
Come forward, please.
I have people to answer to also.
I will
Yep.
close up on let y'all know they cut shooting in Madison County Courthouse.
Huh?
They cut shooting in Madison County Courthouse. Person dead with some trial or suspect or something, somebody just shot somebody on the steps of Madison County Courthouse.
Oh, wow. Which court was it?
Circuit court, I think.
Who?
I know. Yeah, just did, yeah.
Golly.
Okay. My name's Ronnie Garrison. I live at Cliffview, 533 Cliffview Drive, and I actually own a business in Flowood, 433 Lakeland Drive. I've had a photography shop which has converted to a embroidery photography, anything personalized we do for the area. We do 60% of our business is sewing. We got a four-head sewing machine. We got a photo studio in-house. We do in-house photos. We do weddings. We do all sorts of sports. We do T-shirts, like if you want one or you want 100. We don't do screen printing, but we do transfers and team jackets. Like I said, most of our business, is 60% of it, is the embroidery type. Basically, our orders are not large embroidery, but small embroidery, where we do local 1 to 20 is typically our small business is our big users. Also do a lot of, during the slow times, motorcycles. You do a lot of vest and motorcycle groups in the metro area. We've been in business for 10 years, over 10 years. We, like I said, evolved from photography 10 years ago into embroidery and a more personalized type business. It's a family affair. My two daughters work there. One lives in Pearl, one lives in at the reservoir. And we basically all do is a family affair.
Okay. Low traffic? High traffic?
Very low traffic.
Very low.
Because you got to understand, we are a personalized type business, and we don't have high traffic areas.
Okay. How many acres is this?
Almost 2 acres, if I remember right. Just the front part of it is where the building is, about 4,800 square foot building.
Right.
You've got the wooded area that right now is pretty, a lot of trash and stuff in it, that once we get it surveyed off, if the zoning goes through, we'll clean it up. Try to maintain it against the subdivision back there. Mostly it's going to be all wooded and maintained.
Okay. And then we got the buffer to the south, right, Renee?
Right, to the,
Common open space there between them.
Do you have plans to subdivide it?
none.
Okay.
Like I say, most of ours is what we're doing now, and maintain the wooded area as much as I can.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions?
No, but I will have some when I get home.
We've already closed that public hearing, so at this time it'd be appropriate to take action on the rezoning request.
I move to approve.
Motion approved, Mr. Keith.
Second.
Second, Mr. Wilcox. Any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Gentlemen, item J is an authority to publish an RFP for our rural solid waste collection and related services with a proposal deadline of Friday, August 28, 2015. At our work session, there was some discussion about folding the disposal side of the contract into the collection side for purposes of the RFP. So we found the contract on the disposal side and looked at it. It's a different setup on the disposal side. Those are related, but they have separate agreements that append to both of those. They're both governed under waste management because that's who the contractor, the successful bidder, was on both sides of that equation. Back in '03, when it was initially set up as a disposal agreement, that contract was put in place with an initial 6-year term, and the language allows for successive renewals of the original contract term for 3-year periods. Okay? So we've been able to go back and sort of resurrect that language. It's been operating like this for quite some time, as you can see, since '03. And so we were able to dust that off. Where we are now is, you can look at it in a number of ways. I guess it's providential. That it will, in fact, the disposal is subject to termination and renewal September the 30th of 2015.
Oh, wow.
So it times up exactly in line with the collection side. So if the board is of a mind to fold the two RFPs together and go out for one complete package, both disposal and collection, we're in a position to do that with one caveat. The disposal contract requires a 60-day termination notice, all right? So as we stand here today, we are actually inside the 60 days, which is not a problem. We just need to give notice, but there would be a lack of correlation at this point. The termination date would occur prior to the actual termination date on the disposal side. We're okay on the collection side, but this could create a little bit of a disparity there.
How much longer could we get the disposal if we so choose to?
If you want to just leave it in place just like it is?
Yeah.
There are 6 additional 3-year,
8 from the beginning.
Oh, so
8 from
we've
the
got
beginning, so I think we've got 6.
2033.
30, we got
20,
plenty then.
2033.
You've
Okay,
got
another
6
15
additional
years.
3-year, I think it's like 18 years.
Okay,
All right?
all right.
So you're in good shape, as it were, but that agreement is with Waste Management, and there's no, obviously, we're going out for proposals on the collection side. So there could be some, if you wanted to make the change, now is the time to do that.
Well, my concern is if we do this, we could very likely get a higher cost for disposal.
That'd be the problem.
Subject to the terms of the agreement, obviously, and I was only focusing on the termination side for right now. I haven't looked at the cost side of that equation. But you're right, most likely it does have amplifiers within the contract language that allow for an adjustment in that cost.
Could we
Most of the
not
time
do just what we're doing now and not terminate it?
Yes, sir. And if here's the caveat that you need to understand. If we don't terminate and it renews October 1 this year,
Yeah.
you're in for another 3-year period.
Well, we could still, didn't you say we got a 60-day out?
No, sir.
You only 60 days at a time
At
renewal?
the time of
Right.
termination and
Oh,
renewal.
wow.
So we need to make a decision.
It's now or 3 years.
Well, it would be nice if we had some information, kind of like, if we knew what we were getting into.
Really?
Yeah, well, we can tell
Now
you,
they sign check.
we will be in a position to let you know exactly what what the disposal side of that equation is costing. We can get you that
Well,
information.
that's what I'm not talking about. I'm talking about today's picture on like the probability of the cost.
Understood.
Anything we can do with that? I mean,
Not until we get into a point of negotiation with a successful bidder. I mean, we need to get the RFP out, obviously, and that's what we're here to talk about today. But we're not going to be in a position to talk about costs going forward until we're in the RFP process.
okay.
So what's on the table for you is we've got a collection side RFP, it's ready to go. And I've put copies before the ones who were interested in looking at it. So we're ready on that, but we're not ready on the disposal side. We're clearly not ready because we've got to terminate that. We've got to issue notice of termination, if that's what the board wants to do.
Well, it all depends on the cost.
Yeah. And we have to do this today? Would we not have time, could we not just bid it out like what we discussed and put the disposal in there, but not necessarily terminate it and give us a couple weeks to do a little homework?
Yeah, the way I review or read the contract on the disposal side, we can terminate at any point during the term. It's just that we've got to give them 60 days. So
Yeah.
the longer we wait, the further out beyond October 1 we're going to be before we can really make a change, as it were, on the disposal side.
Well,
So
that's
there could be
fine.
some coordination issues in
Yeah.
there that we have to deal with.
I'd
We've got
rather do
time.
it like we got now, and we got time to do some
Talk
homework,
about
find out
that.
where we're at.
Right.
I mean, how many disposal scenarios do you have?
Well, you're limited because you're talking
Yeah.
about some pretty significant landfill operations for a county of our size, population of our size. There's not very many players
Right.
who can handle that kind of disposal.
But you got Madison, Hines, and then you got Waste Management. So,
Scott. Mhm. Scott County.
Scott, yeah.
do they run their own? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but our disposal agreement actually takes us to the Clearview.
Yeah, I mean,
landfill
that's
in
a
Scott
waste
County.
management site.
It's a waste management site,
For Madison, they have their own. Hines County has their own.
yes.
So we do have some options. We worth looking into. I think we all go move forward like we got it. And
Okay.
if we need to terminate, we can find out.
And we don't need to adjust anything on item J then, if that's the position of the board. Jay's suggestion, we just have a motion on item J.
I'll make a motion
Huh?
to,
Yeah, I'm okay with moving on. Go ahead.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Bishop, second, Mr. Wilcox, to go as it is listed on item J. Correct?
and we're going to request to do a collection and
Right.
disposal.
Right. Okay, just see what it is.
We're definitely doing an RFP on collection.
Yes.
And we're going to come back and visit with the board probably at the 15th meeting about how to structure the disposal, whether we're going to stick with what we have or go out with an RFP on disposal.
So we're not going to add disposal in with this now, just to get pricing on it?
Item J, well, see, here's
All
the
right, you
thing.
stay with item J.
Well, you've got the 60 days. Do you want to go out with an RFP and just not terminate? Is that
Yeah.
what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right,
Will that
so
work okay?
We'll modify J then to reflect that we are going to go out both for collection and disposal, but we're not going to terminate the existing disposal agreement until we see where we stand.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Very
it.
Yeah,
All right.
where, you gonna let them pile it up at your house?
We got plenty of room out in Florence, I hear.
All right, got a motion and a second, but we're gonna amend it the way it reads a little bit here, right?
Right,
Okay,
to include the disposal.
okay. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Laura Oster, County Administrator.
Thank you. The first three items I have this morning are actually for the tax collector. The first one is a request authority to enter into a contract with Envision Payment Solutions for the collection of NSF checks and the authority for the board president to execute that contract. This is-
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop, second, Mr. Keith. Any discussion? Not all in favor say aye. All opposed?
Okay, thank you. The second item is authority to publish the notice of the Rankin County tax sale to be held on August 31st, 2015, in accordance with Section 274155.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Wilcox, second, Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The next item is board order setting a tax sale for August 31st, 2015 pursuant to Mississippi Code 274167 and authority to publish. This one's a little bit different. The first one was for the 15-year for 14 taxes. This one is for the 14-year for one parcel for 13 taxes. It happens to be the one that John referenced up in his section up here in D.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop, second, Mr. Wilcox. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, the last item I have is approval to accept the FY14 audited financials from Herzog CPA Company and authority to execute the letter.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved, Mr. Bishop,
Second.
second, Mr. Wilcox. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, any additional business to be discussed?
At this time, I don't know of anything.
When do we meet again? What's our next meeting?
Our next meeting will be on the 11th, and it
11th.
will be a budget work session.
Have a motion to recess until
Sure.
August 11th.
9 o'clock.
Yes.
Motion.
Does
Let's see if Craig needs anything
Representative
else.
Baker need us for anything? All right.
Okay,
What's he doing?
Motion to recess to August 11, 9 a.m.
Second.
okay, motion to recess, Mr. Wilcox, second, Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That was short and sweet.
That was.
Hey, Brian,
Thank you all.
what was the deal?